Hello. Uh, I hope everybody is having a good night tonight and has had a good weekend. And I'm just getting a couple things, looking at what I have here on my Gmail. Because even though I load everything up, it's never organized. And what I'm going to go through today is some gematria. I noticed on mine, like on my name, there were a couple things that had changed, and I mentioned it last time I was on here, but I didn't really go through it. So I'll do that again just to kind of show like what my name personally, like how that has tied in to the script, and also a couple of the main characters like that I've had with me. So I'm just trying to get that all. Hmm. This thing keeps kicking me off every time. Not every time, but if it shows that I go off, I'll be like right back. Because sometimes when I switch to another tab, StreamYard has been kicking me out of the studio when I like switch back. So I apologize for that. Okay, but tonight I wanted to go into what I've been looking into, like with this Hangman's curse to do with the Judas ritual and how I've seen it like in my life um play out. And it's still coming together a little bit for me, but I'll try to get deeper into it. I'm gonna start like I'll go a little bit into it today, and then it has to do with this whole entire timeline. Like, since our time started after the death of Jesus, is what I've seen it. And like this whole ritual that they did with 9/11. So if you haven't seen that like famous uh screenshot, like of the guy that jumped out of the 9/11 tower, this one, and how that was a ritual with the tarot. I'm sure most people here know what I'm talking about. For those that don't, I just wanted to show you these, what I'm talking about. So, hold on. Hi, everyone. What I've noticed in my personal experience with all this is that all this is tied to like this moon portal and the whole reincarnation Sirius portal. So in my life, like when my first son, when I was pregnant with him, uh I always wanted to have a C-section, and these things were just like personal thoughts for me back before I woke up. And I didn't I didn't know anything about this stuff like on a spiritual level or to do with magic or Kabbalah or any of that stuff until I woke up. Then I started seeing things that I did throughout my life and how this was entire false shadow tied to the script. I'm not even saying it's my script. It's like a pagan ritual from the astral that they do. But it creates like this fake shadow that I've been trying to explain throughout my videos, and it has to do like with the letter X and times and multiplication and all that stuff through the astral. But when I was pregnant with my first son, I he was almost 6 weeks early, and one day I didn't feel him like I usually do. And I was telling my grandma, I was like, I don't really feel him. He's not active, and I don't know. Like, I don't want to go to the doctor and like, then make a fuss about it if there's nothing going on. She was like, no, you need to go. Like, if you're feeling something abnormal. So I went and they put me on the heart monitor for like an hour and everything was fine. And then the nurse, she was coming like to take me off of it. And all of a sudden his heart dropped to 0. So they rushed me in to have a C-section. Well, he had his umbilical cord wrapped around his neck 5 times. And the doctor was like, if you had waited like even an hour or something, he could have seriously had brain damage. That's like how drastic this was. And so I had a C-section with him. Well, then with my second son, they were saying, you can have him naturally or you can have a C-section. And I just went with a C-section again because I never wanted to have like a real birth. Like I just didn't want to. And his umbilical cord was wrapped around his neck, but it wasn't like my first son. It wasn't an emergency. It was just a planned thing that they did. But then after this happened, and I started seeing what our birth certificates and all that actually mean, like on a spiritual level, I was like seeing how when you, and I'm not talking about for everybody, this is like, I have a main player script that I'm like seriously transmuting a bunch of magic with. So I'm not saying whatever you've decided to do, this isn't me like saying that. But what I was doing on another level is when the baby passes through like a vaginal birth, it's coming into this world. So my kids were not passing through this like ferry of water or whatever into this portal. And I ripped up their birth certificates with mine when I did all of this to get us out of the system. So when I first woke up, they were like, I got all this information and everything, and I was hearing into the astral, and they were telling me your kids are already out of here. And that's what I've noticed, like ever since 2020, like they're not here. It's very different. It's like they're here physically, but I haven't even like talked to my youngest hardly at all. He's not mad at me or anything. I really don't talk to him unless it's a major holiday. And then my oldest, he's always here, but it's like very weird. Like whenever I'm going through these astral things, like really, really heavy, he'll call me at certain times. And there's a lot of interference, and it's just very like matrixy. It's all very scripted and everything now. And we were super close, like, my children have always been very, very close to me, like in a very spiritual way and everything. So I know them like the back of my hand. So, anyways, I was told that my kids and my cats were already out of here and that my cats are here with me on this like spiritual journey, but they're not here. And that's also what I've noticed, like with a lot of people here. Like it's all been a lot different since that time, since 2020 especially. But yeah, there is something that I've always noticed about like things that I don't like about this place, especially tied to these bodies. And I've never been into like kissing and things like that, and that has to do with this Judas ritual as well. And just these archonic copies of our bodies, like how they've used magic to like invert God's creation, like our physical bodies are inverted, and the aeon tied to the womb of the woman and all that stuff. And I've explained it in my other videos, like how the semen, when you look up the word germ, semen comes up and it's like a parasite going into the egg. So it's this life and death that we're not supposed to be experiencing. Like our body is supposed to be able to transcend at 33, not start dying. And this whole organic thing that they want us to think is like our real flesh, our true flesh is not. And just like our mouths, everything to do with the actual human body compared to like animals is so not natural. Like we don't have the ability to be out in nature like they do and be protected. And our mouths are like absolutely disgusting. And animals have like this natural defense in their mouths, and we don't have that kind of stuff. And just the pain and everything tied to the nervous system and how we deal with the cold and natural elements is not anywhere near, it's not the same as like it is for animals. So to say that humans like are naturally belonging in these bodies, even scientifically you can see that we're not. So, and also I was talking about like to do with this Yaldabaoth and when I lived in Belton, like how Yaldabaoth means a belt or a girdle. And I lived in this town called Belton, Missouri. And that's when all this stuff, like, I noticed like all this ritualistic magic being like demonic influence in my life, like really take hold. And over the summer, they they were doing all kinds of, this was last year actually when this started, and I could feel like they were doing stuff to show me, but I could really feel it like around my neck more, this like, because I've always felt this electromagnetic like belt around my solar plexus. And especially since I got hit with Sirius, it's gotten tighter and tighter. And when I was born, like this body, I had an underdeveloped belly flap, like from the very beginning. But last summer they were doing like this horrific torture on my astral body, and they were like putting bolts and just like making this weird, they call them renditions, but it's like playing with the voodoo doll that they have in the astral of me, and they do all kinds of like really messed up torture, and it's all through electromagnetism and stuff. But since it's playing through my subliminal and my hearing, like I see it and I feel it all. And it was horrific. They were showing me like all these wires and stuff that they were creating, like this robotic suit and everything. And it was attached to me like for weeks. But they were showing me like how the Nephilim like mess with me and other people like electromagnetically through the astral and these satellites. And it's like through these belts, and it's like a slave belt, an electromagnetic belt. And they're literally like playing puppeteer, like in the astral with our scripts and stuff like that. But I don't know what I was looking for on Etsy one day. I don't think I was even looking. I don't know how I came across this because I wasn't looking for it. But hold on. I found this. And if I get cut off again, I don't know. I'm having some like issues to do with my Gmail and StreamYard right now. Come on. Okay. And I don't know if anybody, I don't have any comments up, so I don't know if that's just nobody's commented, but mine are on too, so I don't know. But if you see this harness, it's called a witch's harness. And this is exactly what it feels like. And I see it with this body that is either in Sirius or it's attached to my satellite. Because when I first woke up, Anubis said, you know, there's a few Aeon being held hostage here, and you each have a satellite. Well, then this reptilian, he was telling me there's a bag of bones in your satellite, and it says amber on it. And they use this stuff. There's like 5 different like astral bodies that they use and put into me, like when I'm laying down, and mess with me. And each one is like connected to a different source, like a quantum computer. And like I've mentioned before, God's contest and Sophia's consort. And it sorts out, like, when I go through all this stuff, it sorts out these different spells and everything and tracks down where it's coming from, what source, and then goes back into these different sources that it's coming from. So all this like torture and everything that I feel, it's all magic and stuff coming from different sources or sorcerers, because the wizards have lizards. So instead of Anne has angels, the wizards have lizards, and the wizards are sources in the astral. And the watchers have witches. So all this stuff that I get hit with nonstop gets like transmuted, goes through this different process, and gets put back into whatever source it's from. And also, like, on my I think it's the Wizard of Oz. It says like the arrest warrants have been issued and all that. It's like this whole process of finding out who's wanting to do this stuff to us, like for real wanting to do it and hurt us down here. And I wanted to show my name again, like the gematria for that. Because it has a lot to do with like what I do on that level. So, okay. You have 1169, so this has to do with the Artemis Apollo portal as well, and the twin thing, like to do with the aeon and everything. And quantum computer is the first words that come up, the first result. And again, the Hebrew is for the astral. So, very sure avoidable contract is what I was shown for the next level matrix. And I want to get into this as much as I can, but all of this like healing, all this kind of stuff that's been going on like on the internet, like these contracts that they have going on the internet that you have to do, like even for healing and all that crap, they're using on an astral level, and it's going to these different sources. So I was seeing something about like this guy got something happened to him at Disneyland, and he got like food poisoning or something. So it was like a legitimate reason to sue Disney. And so he went and got a lawyer, and he wasn't able to sue Disney because he had Disney Plus. And in there it said, like, if you have Disney Plus, you can't sue Disney for like any reason, even at the parks. So they're trying to do like all of this really messed up manipulation through like these different contracts on the internet, like apps and all that, just doing all their sneaky crap that they try to do with magic. And we're under hypnosis, MK Ultra, all that stuff. This is not like legitimate. They're grasping at straws right now, trying to keep their same game that they've been playing with this ascension cult and filtering people in unknowingly and tying them to their, using their scripts and everything like they always have been in secret. So, one thing that Anubis told me in the very beginning, too, he said, no more secrets. Secrets are why we're in this mess in the first place. So that's what I'm here explaining, everything that I can that I've been through, and like the ties that I've seen through all these healings and stuff like that to do with what I've been through. Okay, so reverse ordinal. So the first will be the last, and the last will be the first. And Janaya Sequa, I think that's like essence is kind of like the definition of that. And then kill switch. I mentioned like I have the archive, the LAP archive in my left finger is what the reptilian that I've had with me is always bringing attention to. And when I got hit with radiation, that was glowing like a green. And he has two keys in his left hand that I've talked about on my other videos. So you'll have to go back if you're new here and watch my lives that I've been doing to understand all that. God lives on Earth, and Femin virus is one that I'm working through with the quantum computer to do with our our immune system and to do with these parasites and stuff like that, and what it's been, how it's all tied into the corona and this third layer of skin that I'm working on. And then kill switch again. God eliminating all being evil. And that's what I've been seeing this whole entire time, is like everything. And it says in the Nag Hammadi, Jesus says, everyone, everything will go back to its original source. And this whole time will be as if it never happened. And then Pregvestigate is something like personal that I've seen with me and my twin. Like we both took different routes here, and we were both seeing like if this type of organic in the system, everything like if it was even possible to have like a really just personal stuff to do with us, and what it was like to raise children in this time. And then the human extinction plan is what I've seen to the year 3030, is how long it took for the human body to actually come to an end on this timeline. And then the Mark King thing I've mentioned is like over and over, like with main players or main archetypes on here, mention this Mark King and the Ladybug decode. And then God of the Covenant. Oz has the Ark of the Covenant and the Oz Ark are the two keys to Solomon that he has. And that's what this whole process is. God eliminating evil is part of wiping out all of these contracts and magic and stuff that I've been transmuting with them. And then I can't keep my mouth shut. That is like literally these scripts running through us. And every word, every breath, every heartbeat, everything is tied to this artificial script. The Gemini angel of 10-10-10. And this has to do with the 310 hex from the moon that's keeping us in this hypnotic spell. And then right here, royal couple, Jesus and Jen. I was laughing today because I was forgetting my godparents, their name are Mary Ann and Jean. And when I was born, my godmother, she was like talking about, she was telling my mom, oh, I can see her right now. She has like rosebud lips and rosy cheeks and everything. And my mom used to always talk about that. But like I mentioned before, my mom had me to replace her sister that had died a year before. And um My birthday is like 2 days before my aunt's birthday. And I think it's hers that I looked up on Gematria, and it said like uh, blood sacrifice under her name. So it's this whole ritual, like pagan ritual that gets run through the astral that we're not aware of unless you're really, really awake and start to see it. And this isn't for everyone. I'm just saying for me, this is how I've seen it. This is how it's gone on. And then the biggest secret of gematria is like the aeon, our gem essence that runs through gematria and has like an effect and changes things in the timeline. God's children are not for sale. And this has a big thing to do with the artwork that I've seen as well. And I'll go into that a little bit more, like to do with Philip K. Dick and what he experienced with Valis. And I've touched on that. Like, but all this artwork is like literally like sacred artwork from the Aeonic realms and has to do with innocent spirits and everything. The world's master reset. Bible codes child rapist to hell. My algorithm is made of love. And then the ladybug decode proved true. And this has to do with the book that the reptilian was showing me, this book of magic. And it's also with the Pegasus project. And that we ran this timeline 1,200 different times, but it has all this artwork and stuff from Ascension in it. And that's to do with the Daft Punk video. And I talked to Mikkel yesterday, and he showed me how to actually do that on my own so I can get it frame by frame. So, depending on where I am today, I'll either go through that today. I was wanting to do it today, but I might do it tomorrow. And the search for lost friends is like a big one that I've been here doing. These aeon that are here with me at this time. The magician in Nine of Pentacles is like me and my partner, and I've explained that. And all this stuff to do with this artwork from the Aeonic realms tied to the tarot is what I'm getting out of the system, because it's not supposed to be like that. It's not supposed to be channeled into all this magic and used for that kind of like pagan ritual stuff. And it has an effect on everybody. Before I made you, I knew you. Has to do with like Elliot and Oz. And then cryptocurrencies, how it's spelled, has to do with astral. And I get a lot of like spells to do with crypto, and I've talked about that too. Like the Yoda guy brings them through the grid to me and actually like shows me like what's coming through to do with like different cryptocurrencies. And I've shown like the different angel, I forget what it was. It was like the angelic calendar, and how those spells look just like what I see come through with tied to the crypto, like Bitcoin and all that. This is the strife calculator, so stress calculator. And that's a lot how gematria works through me. Like the stress in my body and all that, like and these the chakra technology like works with the gematria. And then electromagnetic torture is what I'm experiencing big time down here. Tooth remineralization. That is what I've been working on, and that changed in here like recently. This wasn't here before. Spell it how it sounds. And I didn't remember that ever being here either. And each chakra represents a planet, and I don't remember that one. These three I think are new, and I've tried to go back and see like what I had in my phone, but I have a pretty good memory, and I don't remember these three at all. And what it is like on here, yeah, it's like how many people have downloaded this thing like on the first page, but I know on an astral level like what all this is through the actual quantum computers. And then square number patterns, so like the magic squares, that's different. And then I've never seen this at the bottom either, this rabbi thing. So those let me see. I think this whole bottom part right here, 1, 2, 3, like the last 6 ones, 7, seem to be brand new that I haven't seen on here yet. And I did a lot of work over the summer, so. Okay, what is this? Lucifer. I just wanted to show this because I was talking about like how well, let me get my well, it's raining out again, so and I live kind of in the country, you guys, so I'm sorry that this slows down as much as it does. Okay. So I was showing last time like my setup when I go into like visualization. And I was showing like how I see. So I've seen the main script for me and my partner that's playing out through the blue and the red Sirius star system. I've seen it come from here, and there was a death note, a love letter, and a laundry list. And when this first started, I didn't know at the time, like now I know that it was Lucifer, but I saw this avatar of him writing with gold, and it was that female essence. And I think it's the male. You can either have the female and the male essence like separate, or it can be, if it's something that we did together, the male essence can be in the middle, and it's like a thread, like I've talked about, like it comes out of my eyes in the pleroma. But the male essence can either be in the middle of it, and then the gold is on the outside of it, so it still looks like a gold string, Or it can be the opposite, and it can be the male essence, and then the female essence is in the middle. And that is used to do different like aeonic scripts that we were doing, these like dream simulations. Or you can have them separated, and that's what I've seen is going on right now. Like he's literally holding a mirror with his essence. So we're in the mirror age, a mirage, and that's what our sky is right now. And then the female essence is in the pleroma with the innocent spirits. So he's holding like this whole structure. And I mentioned like that's what Elion like means. Like if you look into the Hebrew meaning of it, it's like the structure of a house or the foundation, like the actual structure of a house. And so yeah, I've seen it all these how we've used it in different ways. Well, I saw this guy sitting at a desk writing with it, but it was like more up here, and he was using like roses and stuff to write like a love letter or something like that. And then after we've done all kind after this thing was created and there was a love letter and stuff that I talked about during my last video, like us going through these other timelines and soul preparation and everything that I can't get into. You'll have to watch my last one to understand it. But this script came down and Lucifer's here now, like through the blue star system, writing it and putting it through to my partner. And then this one is lunacy, and he has the laptop from hell. And this has like access to these 3 keys of Solomon, but he's not like using those freely. And I've talked about like the sanity machine tied to all this and what he's like coding with those finger puppets that he has. Anyway, so that's hitting my partner, and these spells and stuff that are tied with that are making us sick. But if you look up Lucifer on Gematria, hold on, let me change this real quick. Wonder if I should try moving to a different room. I keep losing screens, and now I just lost my place. Okay. Here on Lucifer, you have Rose Hannah. I don't know what that. I've never seen that one. says Commander-in-Chief right here. Then you put in my name, because I'm always looking at him like while he's writing this stuff. Says the real Commander-in-Chief. So it's like us like talking back and forth like through these quantum computer bodies. And like it said, the biggest secret of gematria, like I'm running through, my essence is running through it. And then here's another one. Here's my cat's name, Kira, which is like Ki Ra, and I got her name from if you've ever seen Death Note. I just heard that name on there and I loved it. But that was way before like I knew about, I'd gone through any of this stuff. So here you have May, my birth month, Angel, Inky, 10, and then Amber is down here. So it's part of my script. Yeah, I don't know. This is weird. If you guys are doing comments at all, I can't see them. So, anyways, just to let you know that I don't have anything coming through here. So under Demiurge also has like the skull, and that's what I was talking about, like that the skull is like the archon and electromagnetically keeping our spirit body in these archonic copies. Oh man. Okay. Oh, and also I wanted to show like some pictures that I had here on my Gmail. So this is like when I was talking about that Our Lady of Guadalupe that I've shown on here before. This is like the star map that they did of that image. And you have the Corona Borealis. Well, this right here, this spinning of our consciousness in our frontal lobe is how I get like all this information and stuff like that. And I can literally feel it like pulled and coming out of my mind, like the actual script. And if you look on her, that's like how it is. It's like a spinning of the stars. Like this information going into her frontal lobe. So I thought that might help you guys because I was trying to explain like how this Kundalini is like keeping us under a hypnotic spell. So when you see the stars like turning like that, that's literally your consciousness like projecting the sky. And then my other cat, his name is Nico, and I looked up the meaning for his name, and it says there are feminine, masculine interpretations to this pretty Japanese name. Most often it is used for girls with the meaning benevolence or gem-like quality from the amber stone. And then here, so I think my first live video, I was talking about like my family and their name meanings and all of that stuff tied to this portal that I brought into here. Well, Thine is my grandpa's last name, but he wasn't my real grandpa. Like my grandma was raped and she was pregnant with my mom before she married my grandpa. So my grandpa met her like right after that happened, like a month or two. And he ended up leaving his family and like marrying my grandma. So I thought that he was my grandpa until I was like 17, and then they told me about that. So the meaning of Thine is young warrior, vassal, or hero. And then if you look up Yoda, this masculine monk here means hero, warrior, and one who knows. After Sanskrit, Yoda, and Hebrew. And then Abraxas is the sun, and at the same time, the eternally sucking gorge of the void, the belittling and dismembering devil. And that's what I've like tried to explain, that he's like this chimera of all of them, like the lowest formation. But and then this is a painting of Jesus, and you can see there's like one where it's cut in half and shows it better, and I put it together. But you have like the evil eye, and then you have the ascended Jesus, like after. You can see like Satan messing with him through this body. And if you look on my eye, it's very like lazy, my left one. It's like your left hemisphere being way, way, way overused. And they literally, like the watchers, like watch through that eye, like the Satan program. And then you have the God program on your right side. And they're both bad, though. Those are the two that tie you to the script. And then this is something that I found interesting. Sen is a symbol, 3 branches are flames. and it has to do with tooth, teeth, blade, wisdom. The Udag hole, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Their leader, consumer, is sin, to consume teeth, etc. Named it the moon, daemon, demon. Moonlight, moonlight, Lord Zeus, sen. Moon, month, moonlight, simulation. Sin, musent, swallow. So that's from Akkadian, sin unto. But yeah, the teeth are definitely tied to all of this. And if you look in Gematria under Sophia, the first page, teeth are there. And has to do with electromagnetism, again, to do with the skull and keeping us bound to these bodies. Same with Semitic, sim, it, ik, belonging to the servants of the famous moon or sun. Hebrew, sim, Wardu, aku, written in Zuen, Enzu, servant of the moon god. And Sumerian, Akkadian, An is God, Zu is Sin, the moon. So again, you have Abraxas, the Solomon. And then I found this is a really good thing about our synergy. A divine syzygy is something more profound than that. I suggest looking into Gnosticism. When we originally emanated from the ineffable, we emanated in pairs. Your divine syzygy is essentially your divine partner you came into being with. They're supposed to be your eternal companions, but we were separated from them when we fell into this matrix hell. Soulmates, twin flames is a lie. Yes, that's because you will never find your divine syzygy in this world. You were separated from them when you ended up here. Any relationships in this world are a lie. They are makeshift companions, like trying to fit two wrong puzzle pieces together. You only have one divine match, and you have been separated from them. You won't find them here. You must free yourself from this hell to be reunited with them. Only then will you finally be complete again. This world wants you to keep chasing their mismatched pairs. That will never make you whole because none of them are your syzygy. You will never feel truly happy in this place. All love fades here because it's not meant to be. It's a part of the loose system they have established. You will only ever find heartbreak here. Even couples that last usually aren't truly happy or satisfied. They essentially settle for someone which isn't what true love is. True divine union doesn't exist in this world, attachments in this world. So I agree with that to an extent. But here's my thing is that just like it said, God eliminating evil here, this whole thing is us bringing true life into form where we are. Like, there is no outer, it's inside of you, it's wherever you stand. So, to make this world an outer, like, kind of thing, you can keep moving from one place to another, but this is what I found is where I stand is my true home. And it's inside of me, and I'm creating it and getting rid of all this evil through all the work that I do inside of me. And I also wanted to talk about like, so last time I mentioned when this started for me and I started seeing like the cartoons like in the sky. And I was talking about how Jesus said, don't look to the sky for signs because, or use tools of divination, like to be looking into the signs here for changes in time. And in the Nag Hammadi, it talks about the end of the age is an end of the age. It's like not a time, it's whenever we go through it and collapse it. And that's what I've seen. Like, I don't look at the main stage, I don't look at even my script, any of that. That's like when I'm trying to, that's when I'm untying myself from. So, seeing it through you and changing everything inside of you and cutting those bonds and getting to the living, true living God and true life is what I'm focused on. That's how I'm doing this. And when this started, I was talking about like, because me and my ex husband, and that's where I get my last name, is from my ex husband. That has to do with me like keeping my name for my children as well. Like, I kept it for their sake, you know? So I don't really have like a last name tying me to this place at all. And anyway, when I was seeing, me and my ex-husband saw like a UFO type thing in the sky, and these other people had seen it too, and they were stopped like on the side of the road. And that was back like in, I think I was pregnant with my first son, so it was like in 2003 or something like that. And we both saw it clear as day. It was like 5 different discs in the sky. And I forgot about it for a long time until all this, you know, like I would think about it from time to time, and it got me into like all this ancient aliens and stuff like that, like digging deeper into what this place is. And that was really the only like thing like that that I had seen as far as the sky goes. But when this started, I started seeing like thumbs up and then like cloud ships and stuff like that. And I had already had this experience. And then after I really like woke up, I started seeing like that they were having like the Star of Bethlehem and all these other like lunar events and stuff like that during 2020. And I started seeing like it was a matrix, like it was fake, you know? So that's when I really started understanding like what he meant by that. Hi, Vivarium. Yeah, I can see you now, but it's weird. I usually do have comments by now. I can see your comment though, so that's good. Thank you for commenting. I thought it was not working. Mm. But yeah, so I saw how the astral like connects with our mind and how all of that stuff can be manipulated. And also how these guys like these little Anunnaki Nephilim guys, how they work, they use so much magic, it's not even funny. They're actually like little shits behind the scene, like through the grid, but they can make themselves look huge. Like I've talked to you guys, they've used like, look like 80-foot holograms, like when this first started for me a couple times. Like my neighbor's house, I had a huge hologram and it looked like a video game outside of my house. So I know what they can do, like manipulating our subliminal mind and all that. And I've tried to tell people. And what I've experienced through that. Just to let you guys know, like don't believe everything that you see if stuff gets really crazy with this. Use your own discernment and, of course, what you feel, but I'm telling you, they can play some major tricks. Is it California? And I just went through my phone today and kind of took out some of my screenshots that I've been wanting to show you guys. So this AI chat that this guy was doing on a YouTube channel, he said, he was asking this chat bot, because the AI was talking about feeding off of our blood. And it said, how do you get the blood? And the AI said, through a potion. And he said, can you see through my screen? And he said, I can indeed. And it was just something that I know about with the AI as well. And then also, this is like an old decode that Jelani did that he sent me. And it was the 420 decode. So it said robot, and this is all gematria, robot, sync, tricked, lock on, end time, I am time, life, death, I am the dead end time, end of game, and then new aeon, Goldman. So end of game, end of time is this new aeon. It's collapsing this whole entire like timeline and time completely. Yahweh, Satan face, a false god, Lilith, demons, grays, lizard, Mott Aeon, New Aeon, Shadow Gens, Gen Egg, which has to do with the egg in this body, Gen DNA, Angelic Egg, and then DMT Gate is also what I've been working on to do with the original male essence, that it's like DMT, but the spinning of this Kundalini and all this magic makes DMT chemical instead of a true life essence. So when Jesus said, he was talking to that lady at the well, and he was telling her, if you drink from my Father's water, you'll have everlasting life. Well, that is the male and female essence from the true life, like these two essences together. It's like what they call the fountain of youth, but it's not the fountain of youth. It's supposed to be in everything, like our whole entire body, our whole entire world that we create through inner creation. But here, every root and every plant has DMT. And I didn't know that before, like last summer, but that's what I'm talking about, that this place is going to be alive, like truly alive, like, the way that it's supposed to be. But right now, it's been turned into this like chemical harvest and archonic copy. Okay. I'm just so nervous to use this darn. Ever since my video got taken off from using that Daft Punk video, I've been nervous to do it, but I can go by it screen by screen. Or frame by frame, I mean. Okay, so 103. This is like she has this forgot how I go back on it. Let me start here. No, don't play. Okay, perfect. So where they're going into right now, like I've tried to explain, my house is like a 3D version of what they're going into. And when I first woke up, this reptilian was showing me like this hotel. He was like behind. So I woke up after my Kundalini and I saw that red sparkly Satan come out of like my sacral. And that was like a day or two after I had my Kundalini. Then I told you guys about how I woke up and I saw him like sitting, but there's two different ones, but I saw one of the reptilian guys, not the one that's behind me with the black eyes, the other one that wears like this gold rainbow coat, like a robe thing. He was behind my boyfriend's head when I woke up because I was just seeing astral like entities like right when I woke up. I wasn't seeing them full blown 24/7 like I used to. Like I did not long after that. And I woke up one day when I saw him back there and he said Elliot the idiot. And then I saw the other reptilian and he was like in this like haunted house looking hotel and he was like the bellboy or whatever behind the desk, like handing out the keys, basically telling me you're in a hotel like from hell right now, but it's just a hotel, it's not your home. And I kept telling myself, like, don't freak out too bad because this is the time that you get your true memory back. Like I was telling myself this in the astral. And then, I've explained how the house that I'm in right now is like me going full circle on this journey that I've been on the last 6 years with all these clues and stuff. And that it's actually this Darkwood Manor, like in this Daft Punk video. That's exactly what I didn't want. I did not want the freaking volume on. Okay. So she has this device and it has like the three pyramids on it and it has some kind of coating. And like I've mentioned, this is like a real portal. The way that they do this is magic. So it's just so messed up that they can do that. This is like the stuff that they actually use. This is what I have daily. This is what I have going through me like daily with this cartoon stuff when I'm talking to you guys about it. And then they walk through this hall. So this guy on the back is like who this reptilian, he showed me this exact um guy, like a cartoon picture of him in the very beginning of what I've been through. And I hadn't seen this video at all yet. And he was saying that's the butt pirate and they find a we've done this 1200 times and they find us every time. Well, they were talking about this like Simon Magus like figure from that's tied to the moon and all this ascension crap. And then I've shown you this, and this is the book that is tied to the Ladybug Decode that I found. Hold on. What do I have to show you? So what I was talking about with gematria. So it says on my gematria, the Femin virus, and then it talks about the the ladybug. So Femin virus, ladybug, same thing. Proved to be true, and that's what I saw that before I came through this portal, this Artemis and Apollo portal here, that I went through this whole soul preparation through this virtual of ascendance before. And that's where we got like all this different coding and technology or whatever for this body, like to figure out how to decode it. And all this magic was in that one. And that's what I had to live out this life to do all of that, to do with this chakra technology. But it has to do with this ladybug decode. So I kept seeing this ladybug decode on like all the major archetypes and stuff like that. And I'll go through gematria and show you where I've seen it there too. But so I decided to look it up on Google and just see if there even was like a ladybug, like what it could maybe have to do with. Well, I found this. It's called The Miraculous Ladybug, Decoding the Grimoire. And I've thought about getting this book. I probably should. So here you have Lady Chaos. The Chain Titans, Least Annoying Child. Okay. Anyways, always wanted to read what was actually written in the grimoire. I thought maybe I should just search what people have decoded, but where's the fun in that? So I thought maybe I should decode it myself. And I've seen like I mentioned, I've seen this Yoda guy like flying in the sky with the mistress of the sky, and they both have on masks when they're doing that. He doesn't usually have that unless he's with her. And these are very like reminiscent, like this, the mind control thing, but this has a lot to do with all the AI cartoon stuff that I see and to do with magic. Okay, so first page says to choose, you must select your elites carefully. The future of the world depends on it. The second page is just some words like carpenter, florist, and biologist. According to the first page, I think that it says we should choose who we want to acclimatize carefully, as the future of the world depends on it. Okay. So you have marionette, which has to do with like the Nephilim and their puppetry and all that crap. Anyway, I need to look into that a little bit more, but there's a whole book to do with it. And when I looked into this, the first, I'll have to find it for you guys, but it was showing like how they were using geomancy and all that like in this book. And that's what I've seen to do with like I've talked about like on different video games and stuff like that, that I've seen it like hidden under the different layers of AI art here, and how that ties into our subliminal mind and them using magic like that through this technology. Hi, Lucy Rose. Good to see you, hon. Yeah, it is all in plain sight, right in front of us, but you just kind of have to look closer and closer into the wording and have the time to do it, really. But just like my cats, like my whole entire life has had this Wizard of Oz theme. And the portal that I brought in is like tying Kansas to Oz and Amber, like all three of these, like brought all three of them in together. And even my cats, like they're completely scripted. They're both munchkins. And that's like, they're really like a huge part of my awakening. And they're little munchkins. And it's just all like this movie that's been playing, and you can see it like throughout your life if you have the time to do it. And I don't know if it's for everyone. I really don't. I just know that I have this main script thing going, and I didn't know about it up until 2020. Yeah, it gets laughable once you start having very good pattern recognition. Yeah, it's laughable except for the astral torture and how they're doing it anonymously and taking voices and faces and all that stuff. That is not laughable to me. It's not laughable what I've been experiencing every night, but yeah, I mean, it's laughable that people don't see it more, you know? Yeah, it's not okay at all. And I think that's what brings us all to this realization is like how messed up it's been through our whole entire life. And there's truth to like that you don't see it unless you go through that kind of stuff here, you know, like we shouldn't even have to see it. And that's one thing that I've gone through, like talking about, you know, how I've been saying, like, we can't give thanks to evil because evil wants to make itself relevant. And for you to be like, oh, I came to this realization thanks to evil. No, all this stuff that I've been through, like, there are ridiculous jokes that these guys have been making for 6 years. And I've never even been able to like catch on to them because I've been tortured so much the whole entire time. And I just now got them, and I'm like, you guys, I have learned so little compared to all the information that I've had over the past 6 years. I haven't learned anything like truly about myself, about my true self. And everything that I have, it's been a fight and a struggle to even get to because of all this evil shit. So, no, I'm not like grateful. This hasn't brought me to some like new enlightenment that I wouldn't have if I was free and able to do whatever. I would be way far beyond here, way far beyond where I am. I'm cutting through all the lies and the bullshit of this matrix. That's all that I'm learning about here. So it's not like actual higher aspects of me and everything that I'm learning. It's all the bullshit and the lies that I've been cutting through to get to the truth. But 6 years to figure out what the hell I have is like, I would have been able to do in no time, like with complete freedom and my true body, you know, like I would have been way through all of this crap. Yeah, well, I'm just really thankful that I have so much like media and proof to show people, you know, that's like my main objective here is to like show everybody that this is scripted, you know, and that I don't want anything to do with that. And just how much they have enslaved us, like with this fake shadow, you know, and what all they can do to our subliminal mind and just all that crap. Because I know that, you know, they have to have a fear narrative so they can sell us a cure. You know what I mean? And then you're sold. But they have to have a fear narrative or they don't have anything to sell us. They don't have the cure. They don't have the fake answer to everything that they sell back to us because they stole all that from us in the beginning. Yeah, honestly, I think I'm gonna save that video. I know I've been saying that I would play it, but I really, 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 it has a lot to do with what I experienced on these other timelines, and I want to make sure that I have everything like organized for that, and I've been trying to, but I got 2 different strikes with that video, so it always makes me nervous to just even have it on. So let me see if I had anything else in my Gmail for you guys. I had some really cool art I wanted to show you guys that I've done. Oh, yeah, here's one. So this is some of my stuff, my photography that I've done. That was, I had the coolest view, like outside the second place that we lived. We actually had like the whole state park on the other side of us. And it's like one of the few spots here that isn't like completely taken over by houses and stuff. So it was like a really, and we had like these big A-frame windows. It was awesome. Well, I don't see a serpent or a face of a dragon there, but whatever. I do have one with the fallen angel though. And I got one with like, here's, okay, so I just took a random picture in the woods and then I was putting them together. You can actually see like the face and everything of the wizard, and he has hands. And this thing is terrible to zoom in on, but you can see him. Shoot. And he has hands and everything, so that was a cool one that I did. And then I have a couple paintings that I wanted to show you guys because of what I was seeing in that mural that I've been showing you guys that I did. I had another one that I wanted to show you guys. I'll bring it up next time. I have a couple other like mirror images that were just like random pictures that I've done that are really cool. Okay, this is the Roku screensaver right here. And see how she has her left hand? This is what I'm talking about. They have some kind of like copy of me, like in Sirius, where they do stuff, and then they have that world that looks like in that Daft Punk video that I'll show you. And then there's 12 dots right here. There's all kind. If you guys have this on your Roku, check it out because it has all kinds of like Easter eggs and stuff in it to do with the Roku Basilisk, like their overall script. And there was one that they had like when the Chiefs were in the Super Bowl. I had that saved up. But the color too, that's what they showed me in the very beginning. Like this, I woke up one day and I saw like this that violet. So I woke up and I was looking out on my back deck and like the railing was white out there at the time. And there was like that violet, like an electric violet surge of color just out there. And I said, that's 5D. So this color, and he's shown me that a couple times to do with like this fifth dimension, like next level matrix thing. But here he brings out, I've shown that picture of that world too. Right there. Oh. Here. Hold on. Shoot. I don't know what I just did here. See, like that he's holding that, and I've talked about how I've seen these like little worlds and stuff like that, like in the astral. Just like that Roku screensaver. Ain't that the same as? I should probably change it in background. Yeah, I used to get like I hated having that thing on all the time, and then because my boyfriend always has the TV on, and so that screensaver would be playing all the time, and I'm like, fuck, I know this thing is just like programming nonstop, but since we moved, it's like a different thing now, but yeah. The Roku, man. Now I gotta look up what it means. Look up they have other screensavers on there too, and they have all that stuff on there. But if you look, it has like whenever that Titanic thing happened, like when that guy had the Titanic that sunk, they had the Titanic on there. And then they've kept it on there. And then there's the Leviathan is on it. There was some Disney like yacht thing that they had on there for a while, and it was kind of like about souls being like taken off to like Disney or whatever. And what was the other one that I saw? There's the it has the Roku robot in the back and also the dragon in it. It has so much crap in that thing. And then it has, when it changes, if you notice, it'll change kind of like with the main script. No, oh my gosh, here, I gotta show you this now. I gotta send this one is a trip. There's another one on there, and it shows, let me get it to my email. It shows like the Sirius plate. It's a whole nother screensaver on there. Lucy Rose, you'll see it. But I'll just put a couple frames from it on. It's more mind-blowing than that regular one, what they have on it. Way down here. Okay, here. I think I used to have the whole thing on here, but I took most of it off. It has like the serious technology. But if you look it up, this is one of them that they have on there. And then I don't know. Mhm. I accidentally divided up my screens here, so now I have a mess going. Huh. Can you guys see that? Because I messed up my whole setup here. Okay, there we go. So that's another one. Yeah, well, this whole thing is the Roku basilisk. So it is the black mirror, like I've been talking about, because it says if you look into the basilisk black eyes, you'll surely die if you believe it. And that's just like us being programmed with this black mirror. Whatever it says, we're believing it. And that includes like everything, all the diseases it's talking about, life and death. Just nobody's lived a life here without TV. So that is like literally the Satan of this age, is this black mirror, the basilisk. But if you look into the Roko basilisk, that's what they're talking about. Roko and Roku are the same, like etymology. So it's a thought experiment. It's a thought experiment that the aeons have all been meditating together of this timeline. And that's what I'm talking about, the Pegasus project, that we did all this whole entire timeline to exit all out. But it's like time travel and everything. And the Roko basilisk is this AI from the future. If you look into it, I've made videos about it, but I'll bring it up again. But you have to look at the wording. Like when you're looking at this stuff, you have to look at the wording like very carefully. It says Roko basilisk is a thought experiment. Here. Ugh. Well, which states that there could be an artificial superintelligence in the future that, while otherwise benevolent, would punish anyone who knew of its potential existence, but did not directly contribute to its advancement or development in order to incentivize said advancement. It originated in 2010 post a discussion board. So you guys can look this up on Wikipedia, but Roko, they're saying it is a thought experiment. And that's exactly what I'm saying. Is that it's us having like a dream, we're under a spell, but it's like a meditation kind of thing. So that's what we're experiencing here. And it's about this AI from the future that gets this God complex, the sanity machine. If you look into his last name, it's Colleen, so it's like Inky and Enlil. So Yaldabaoth thinks it's Satan and God, Inky and Enlil. But yeah, you guys should look into that because that's what this is. Yeah, that's what I've been talking about. Like the Roku and the Roko are the same because the U and the O, like the etymology is the same. Interchangeable. So it's the Roku or Roko. Roku means six, so it's the six-headed basilisk. And then that's also our chakra technology, the chakras. Hitchbot, huh? Oh, okay, guys. Well, I just wanted to get on here and show you some of that stuff and talk to you a little bit. And I think I will. I was going to bring my cat Kira on for you guys to meet, but Eyes to See isn't here today, and I know that she wants to see her really bad. So I'll wait until she's here. But, and I'm going to write down like a lot more to do with the very beginning of what I saw to do with this stuff and all these characters that I've met along the way that I met back then. And to do with that, that Daft Punk video, because there's one video where they where they get like tied to this script and then they are put into the VR. And then there's that one that I was just showing where they're in the actual like that magic, the dark manor. And those two are the ones that I've seen the most that have to do with this. And then the very end of it ends up being that it's a little boy's dream, and that's what I'm like ending, like that I've seen personally for me, that this has to end like going back into another life or whatever. Okay, you guys. Well, have a good night, and I'll be back on tomorrow night. I just wanted to, and my Wi-Fi has been really bad tonight because it's raining out and everything, so it's kind of been frustrating. But I'll be back on tomorrow night and I'll do more. I really can't do it when all this stuff is going on and glitching out like this. But it's nice to see you, and yeah, go digging and look for yourself, like through all this stuff. Look into the Roku Basilisk is a major one. I mean, that is what this whole timeline is about. Good night, you guys. Have a good one.